disorder. My name is Rod Foreman, and I have FASD, specifically partial FAS. And I'd love to share a few thoughts with you today. Now, many people, when confronted with the diagnosis of FASD, are suddenly hit with a giant list of negative prospects. For that person, so when I was first diagnosed, I read and learned so much about this birth defect. I've always known or felt different than other people around me, but it wasn't until the actual diagnosis that I was finally able to feel that I fed in. I could recognize so much in myself. The more I read, the more I knew, and the more I began to understand. Recognizing the way my brain works has put many of my past actions into perspective for the first time in my life, and it gives me the basis to move forward each day. I am so thankful to the authors of many of the books I read. It was so nice to hear that someone understood that we are so much more than just our diagnosis. I read articles by caregivers, doctors, lawyers, researchers, and it was all such a valuable knowledge base. There really is a lot of information out there available for those who wish to search for it. But I always felt that there was one group who were generally absent from the conversation, and that was us, people living with FASD. It's one thing to say sensory integration issue, but how many understand what it feels like? I can tell you all how something feels, but then again, that's just an abstract concept. And to a person living with FASD, we actually know how it feels. So that's when I got involved in social media and have met some of the most incredible people dealing with FASD. Sometimes we find it difficult to talk about what goes on here. Often we can't find the words. Sometimes we just don't know. Sometimes we do. Ask us, talk to us, talk with us, and listen. We are just people after all. We live with the knowledge of this syndrome every day of our lives. We honestly don't see things the way most others do, but we can learn ways to get along. It seems to me that often nature has a way of balancing things in life. And this is just my opinion since I'm no expert, but very often FASD is no exception. What we lose because of the alcohol damage can often be found to be made up in other areas. I might not have the greatest short-term memories, but I was able to have a career as a photographer-journalist for over 20 years. Many others living with FASD are artists, authors, musicians. What we lose in one area, we often gain in another. So living with FASD does not have to be a challenge. It can be an adventure. It truly is a roller coaster ride, and I kid you not. We have ups and downs like very few others, but with proper support and understanding and a positive environment, we can keep the lows from being so extreme and spend more time on the high end. Teach us to understand ourselves, and we'll show you too. In closing, I'd like to thank you all for being here and listening to my words. Please keep in mind that we are so much more than what is written about us. We are a vibrant bunch full of life and zest and want nothing more than to share these gifts with those around us. It's people like you, caregivers, the external brains, professionals, that help us each and every day, and I thank you for all of us. As I said, it's a roller coaster ride, so just hang on, some bugs in your teeth, and enjoy the ride. Thank you.